And get up there. All right, you get up there. All right, go ahead. All right, we're going to snuggle this morning. We'll say hi. Say good morning. You can get up there, buddy. Go ahead. Hey, it's okay. All right. Don't show your butthole on camera. That's for a different channel. Okay, you sit there on my shoulder. You go ahead and sit right there. That's my girl. Yes, I just kind of just kissed your butt. All right. Good morning. Are you comfortable there on my shoulder? Yeah. She says, I'm a sleepy girl this morning. I'm not being very wild for some reason. I don't know why. I'm just being lazy. You sweet girl, aren't you? Yeah. Good sweet girl. Gonna miss Mama next week. I don't know what I'm gonna do without my mom. It's gonna be very stressful. All right. We're on. Winnie, why don't you get up here? Why don't you get up here behind me? You'd be more comfortable. Want to get up there and lay down? Go ahead. Go ahead. You're going to try to make the turn? All right. Okay. Well, that's not going to work. That's not going to work. How's she going to come to your house? Aren't you coming to the gathering? I suppose she could stay with your husband. Be a bit of a drive to take her somewhere. Yes, Mama is going to miss Winnie terribly. It's going to be tough few days without Miss Winnie, isn't it? Yeah, because I'm used to the snuggles. Yep. She's my girl for sure, aren't ya? Yeah. She also loves her dad and Marin. She is such a love bug all the time. She waited until now to get up here and settle in. All right, we are on July 2nd. King Hezekiah collected many of Solomon's proverbs, and he ordered the Levites to use the Psalms of David and Asaph. The proverbs he collected and the updated proverbs are presented here, followed by the undated Psalms. More Proverbs of Solomon, Proverbs 25, 1 through 29, 27. What are we doing? You just got medicine from your ear all through my mouth. I don't have an ear infection in my mouth. All right, these are more of the Proverbs of Solomon collected by the advisors of King Hezekiah of Judah. It is God's privilege to conceal these things, and the king's privilege to discover them. No one can comprehend the height of heaven, the depths of the earth, or all that goes on in the king's mind. Remove the impurities from silver, and the sterling will be ready for the silversmith. Remove the wicked from the king's court, and his reign will be made secure by justice. Don't demand an audience with the king, or push for a place among the great. It is better to wait for an invitation to the head of the table than to be sent away in a public disgrace. Just because you've seen something, don't be in a hurry to go to court. For what will you do in the end if your neighbor deals you a shameful defeat? When arguing with your neighbor, don't betray another person's secret. Others may accuse you of gossip, and you will never regain your good reputation. Timely advice is lovely, like golden apples in a silver basket. To one who listens, valid criticism is like a gold earring or other gold jewelry. Trustworthy messengers refresh like snow in summer. They revive the spirit of their employer. A person who promises a gift but doesn't give it is like clouds and wind that bring no rain. Patience can persuade a prince, and soft speech can break bones. Do you like honey? Don't eat too much, or it will make you sick. Don't visit your neighbors too often, or you will wear out your welcome. Telling lies about others is as harmful as hitting them with an axe, wounding them with a sword, or shooting them with a sharp arrow. Putting confidence in an unreliable person in times of trouble is like chewing with a broken tooth or walking on a lame foot. Singing cheerful songs to a person with a heavy heart is like taking someone's coat in cold weather or pouring vinegar in a wound. If your enemies are hungry, give them food to eat. If they are thirsty, give them water to drink. You will heap burning coals of shame on their heads, and the Lord will reward you. As surely as a north wind brings rain, so a gossiping tongue causes anger. It is better to live alone in the corner of an attic than with a quarrelsome wife in a lovely home. Good news from far away is like cold water to the thirsty. If the godly give in to the wicked, it's like polluting a fountain or muddying a spring. It's not good to eat too much honey, and it's not good to seek honors for yourself. A person without self control is like a city with broken down walls. Honor is no more associated with fools than snow with summer or rain with harvest. Like a fluttering sparrow or a darting swallow, an undeserved curse will not land on its intended victim. Guide a horse with a whip, a donkey with a bridle, and a fool with a rod to his back. Don't answer the foolish arguments of fools, or you will become as foolish as they are. Be sure to answer the foolish arguments of fools, or they will become wise in their own estimation. Trusting a fool to convey a message is like cutting off one's feet or drinking poison. A proverb in the mouth of a fool is as useless as a paralyzed leg. Honoring a fool is as foolish as tying a stone to a slingshot. A proverb in the mouth of a fool is like a thorny branch brandished by a drunk. An employer who hires a fool or a bystander is like an archer who shoots at random. As a dog returns to its vomit, so a fool repeats his foolishness. There is more hope for fools than for people who think they are wise. The lazy person claims there's a lion on the road. Yes, I'm sure there's a lion out there. As a door swings back and forth on its hinges, so the lazy person turns over in bed. Lazy people take food in their hand, but don't even lift it to their mouth. Lazy people consider themselves smarter than 7 wise counselors. Interfering in someone else's argument is as foolish as yanking a dog's ears. Just as damaging as a madman shooting a deadly weapon is someone who lies to a friend and then says, "I was only joking." Fire goes out without wood, and quarrels disappear when gossip stops. A quarrelsome person starts fights as easily as hot embers light charcoal or fire lights wood. Rumors are dainty morsels that sink deep into one's heart. Smooth words may hide a wicked heart, just as a pretty glaze covers a clay pot. People may cover their hatred with pleasant words, but they're deceiving you. They pretend to be kind, but don't believe them. Their hearts are full of many evils. While their hatred may be concealed by trickery, their wrongdoing will be exposed in public. If you set a trap for others, you will get caught in it yourself. If you roll a boulder down on others, it will crush you instead. A lying tongue hates its victim, and a flattering word causes ruin. Don't brag about tomorrow, since you don't know what the day will bring. Let someone else praise you, not your own mouth, a stranger, not your own lips. A stone is heavy and sand is weighty, but the resentment caused by a fool is even heavier. Anger is cruel and wrath is like a flood, but jealousy is even more dangerous. An open rebuke is better than hidden love. Wounds from a sincere friend are better than many kisses from an enemy. A person who is full refuses honey, but even bitter food tastes sweet to the hungry. A person who strays from home is like a bird that strays from its nest. The heartfelt counsel of a friend is as sweet as perfume and incense. Never abandon a friend, either yours or your father's. When disaster strikes, you won't have to ask your brother for assistance. It is better to go to a neighbor than to a brother who lives far away. Be wise, my child, and make my heart glad. Then I will be able to answer my critics. A prudent person foresees danger and takes precautions. A simpleton goes blindly on and suffers the consequences. Get security from someone who guarantees a stranger's debt. Get a deposit if he does it for foreigners. A loud and cheerful greeting in the morning will be taken as a curse. A quarrelsome wife is as annoying as a constant dripping on a rainy day. Stopping her complaints is like trying to stop the wind or trying to hold something with greased hands. Today we'd say like trying to brush your teeth while eating Oreos. As iron sharpens iron, so a friend sharpens a friend. As a worker who tends a fig tree are allowed to eat the fruit, so workers who protect their employer's interests will be rewarded. As a face is reflected in water, so the heart reflects the real person. Just as death and destruction are never satisfied, so human desire is never satisfied. Fire tests the purity of silver and gold, but a person is tested by being praised. You cannot separate fools from their foolishness, even though you grind them like grain with mortar and pestle. Know the state of your flocks and put your heart into caring for your herbs, for riches don't last. Herds, not herbs. For riches don't last forever, and the crown might not be passed to the next generation. After the hay is harvested, the new crop appears, and the mountain grasses are gathered in. Your sheep will provide wool for clothing, and your goats will provide the price of a field, and you will have enough goat's milk for yourself, your family, and your servant girls. The wicked run away when no one is chasing them, but the godly are as bold as lions. When there is a moral rot within a nation, its government topples easily, but wise and knowledgeable leaders bring stability. A poor person who oppresses the poor is like the pounding rain that destroys the crops. To reject the law is to praise the wicked. To obey the law is to fight them. Evil people don't understand justice, but those who follow the Lord understand completely. Better to be poor and honest than to be dishonest and rich. Your people who obey the law are wise, and those with wild friends bring shame to their parents. Income from charging high interest rates will end up in the pocket of someone who is kind to the poor. God detests the prayers of a person who ignores the law. Those who lead good people along an evil path will fall into their own trap, but the honest will inherit good things. Rich people may think they are wise, but a poor person with discernment can see right through them. When the godly succeed, everyone is glad. When the wicked take charge, people go into hiding. People who conceal their sins will not prosper, but if they confess and turn from them, they will receive mercy. Blessed are those who fear to do wrong, but the stubborn are headed for serious trouble. A wicked ruler is as dangerous to the poor as a roaring lion or an attacking bear. A ruler with no understanding will oppress his people, but one who hates corruption will have a long life. A murderer's tormented conscience will drive him into the grave. Don't protect him. The blameless will be rescued from harm, but the crooked will be suddenly destroyed. A hard worker has plenty of food, but a person who chases fantasies ends up in poverty. The trustworthy person will get a rich reward, but a person who wants quick riches will get into trouble. Showing partiality is never good, yet some will do wrong for a mere piece of bread. Greedy people try to get rich quick, but don't realize they're headed for poverty. In the end, people appreciate honest criticism far more than flattery. Anyone who steals from his father and mother and says, "What's wrong with that?" is no better than a murderer. Greed causes fighting. Trusting the Lord leads to prosperity. Those who trust their own insight are foolish, but anyone who walks in wisdom is safe. Whoever gives to the poor will lack nothing, but those who close their eyes to poverty will be cursed. When the wicked take charge, people go into hiding. When the wicked meet disaster, the godly flourish. Whoever stubbornly refuses to accept criticism will be suddenly destroyed beyond recovery. When the godly are in authority, the people rejoice, but when the wicked are in power, they groan. The man who loves wisdom brings joy to his father, but if he hangs around with prostitutes, his wealth is wasted. A just king gives stability to his nation, but one who demands bribes destroys it. To flatter friends is to lay a trap for their feet. Evil people are trapped by sin, but the righteous escape, shouting for joy. The godly care about the rights of the poor. The wicked don't care at all. Mockers can get a whole town agitated, but the wise will calm anger. If a wise person takes a fool to court, there will be ranting and ridicule, but no satisfaction. The bloodthirsty hate blameless people, but the upright seek to help them. Fools vent their anger, but the wise quietly hold back. If a ruler pays attention to liars, all of his advisers will be wicked. The poor and the oppressors have this in common, but the Lord gives sight to the eyes of both. If a king judges the poor fairly, his throne will last forever. To discipline a child produces wisdom, but a mother is disgraced by an undisciplined child. When the wicked are in authority, sin flourishes, but the godly will live to see their own downfall. Discipline your children, and they will give you peace of mind and will make your heart glad. When people do not accept divine guidance, they run wild, but whoever obeys the law is joyful. Words alone will not discipline a servant. The words may be understood, but they are not heeded. There is more hope for a fool than for someone who speaks without thinking. A servant pampered from childhood would become a rebel. An angry person starts fights. A hot-tempered person commits all kinds of sin. Pride ends in humiliation, while humility brings honor. If you assist a thief, you will only hurt yourself. If you are sworn to tell the truth, but you are sworn to tell the truth, but you dare not testify. Fearing people is a dangerous trap, but trusting the Lord means safety. Many seek the ruler's favor, but justice comes from the Lord. The righteous despise the unjust, the wicked despise the godly. All right, we're in the middle of a section here at the top of this page. I'm still laughing at no page numbers. All right. Jesus himself insisted on living as someone with no status. For the first 30 years of his 33 years, you couldn't pick him out of a crowd. He was just another adolescent boy, another young man trying to figure out what it meant to be an adult. Just another craftsman working at the trade he learned from his dad. Ordinary, just like us. Once he began his ministry, he told stories in which the heroes were often outsiders and respectable religious people were invariably the bad guys. He hung out with all the people the well-regarded classes avoided. His closest friends and followers were a ragtag group of misfits, so disparate from each other that by any normal standard they wouldn't belong together. He healed people who had absolutely nothing to offer. Finally, in his own suffering, he became everything we most fear and even loathe: unimportant, powerless, helpless, dying. His whole life and ministry illustrated what we least want to be. When Jesus blessed the children, he turned to them as examples of the least, little, and lost. The children and babies, like the lepers and Samaritans, are sick, dying, and already dead. All had one thing in common. They were dependent, vulnerable, powerless. With nothing of their own by which they commend themselves, they could not cobble together a hope of their own making, nor a plan for their own success. And then he told us to become just like them. The thing that defines adulthood is that you finally achieve independence. The thing that defines childhood, however, is total dependence. As an adult, you learn to bet on yourself. As a child, you have no choice but to completely rely on someone else. It is ingrained in us. Self-reliance is good, dependence is bad. Strength is to be valued, weakness to be avoided. We never get away from it. As we grow older, or we watch our parents grow older, isn't it what we most fight against? Life's terrifying, inevitable threat is how aging requires us to give up independence and self-reliance to become like a child once again, dependent on someone else. And yet, it is exactly this to which Jesus invites us. Contrary to our normal impulses, he would have us become children. Why does Jesus insist on this? It is not until we are children that we recognize the value of dependence. It is not until we know ourselves to be lost that we have any hope of being found. And it is not until we are dead that we are ready to rise to the new life he has came to give us. All right. Let's see. I don't think my family would be too happy if I took her for the week. They'd be just as upset because they're attached too. We love this dog so much that she was supposed to be in a kennel/daycare for 9 days. And my husband couldn't bring himself to do it. So he's staying home. He was going to come. He can't bring himself to do it. So he's staying home for the sake of the dog. And he's not happy about staying home. He can't bring himself to put her in a kennel for that long, which I get because every time we pick her up from the kennel, she's anxious. And so 9 days in a kennel is a long time for a dog she's a pretty nervous Nellie. So she's very skittish with other dogs. She's very nervous around other dogs, scared of them. So I'll be all right without her. I'm sure I will get lots of pictures. Marin will be sending me a picture every 2.5 minutes of Winnie. But, all right, girls, let's go ahead and end in prayer and head off to our Thursdays. God, our Father, thank you for meeting us here today. Thank you for your love and your mercy and your grace and your provision. God, we thank you today for each woman here and for their consistency with devotions. And God, I just pray that you will bless each and every woman here today. Help us all to be mindful as we go about our day. Help us to choose wisely our foods, our words, our actions, how we spend our finances. Help us to be a light for you in our communities, speaking love when we're online, when we're in person, being a picture of Christ wherever we go. In your holy name, amen. All right, girly girls, I love you so much. I hope you have a fabulous day. I'm off for a very busy one, and I will see you all back bright and early tomorrow morning. I have a swimming pool workout tomorrow. Our trainer is treating us all to a workout in her pool tomorrow morning. So I will be on early tomorrow. All right. I love you, girls. I hope